and helping people. All the decades, one of my most favorite things, which I call a tool, is Propolis. Hands down. Because I get asked a lot of questions. People will be like, AW, what about this? What about this? What about this product? What about this company? What about this thing here? And Propolis, by far, is one of my favorite. If you stick around, I'll do the continuity test too, and which is incredible because when you do the continuity test with the Vimergy Propolis, it's an entirely different frequency. Entirely different. I'll talk about why in a little bit. By the way, you guys, Vimergy is on sale right now. They have a killer sale going on. Vimergy.com. So check it out. V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, ERGY.com. Don't miss out on their sale, okay? We got some bees flowing around because we're talking about Propolis. So I got my bee friends here, okay? So I got my little bees and they're here with us. Just don't sting me. Don't sting me. So we're talking about Propolis, which is really exciting. It's one of my favorite tools of all, hands down. And you guys know I work with Vimergy. You know that I've endorsed them, like full throttle endorsement, because I need the stuff to stay around because you can't find the purity. It doesn't exist out there. It doesn't. You can't find the purity out there. It's not possible. I've been through all of it out there. I've checked everything out, tried everything, all of it, and the purity is just unmatched. And I'll talk about that in a little bit too. But we're talking about Propolis and what I call is like the power of nature when it comes down to Propolis. It's an entirely different beast. And all the years, the bad Propolises that I've had to contend with, because it's like this, you know, that it's like the kind of like love-hate thing, right? Like Propolis is incredible, but all there was out there were crappy, bad, low-quality Propolises with alcohol in them. That's all there was. So it's like, here you got this incredible tool, like incredible tool, but you can't really use the tool so much because it's so contaminated and has so much junk in it and hidden things in it and hidden ingredients. It's got alcohol and, you know, propylene glycol. It's got all these bad things in it. And it's always been that way. It's like, you know, you want to use something and you know, though, that you can use it, but you're not going to get really what you need out of it because it's not good, but yet you need it. There's that whole thing. And the thing is, the Vimergy Propolis, it's not like that. That's what's incredible. It's alcohol-free. But that's just one little thing about it all together. So you guys are coming on. So we're talking about Propolis. It's a good time to talk about it, too, because Propolis, immune system. Propolis, immune system. It's like an easy thing to kind of line up in the mind, too. It's like immune system, what time, you know, what's going on in the season right now, all of these things. It's like immune system, Propolis. That's how I look at it too. You know, I had a doctor ask me the other day, like, what's the best thing? Things happening, things going around, you don't know what's going, all this stuff. And what's the best thing? What's the best thing? And I'm like, Propolis, immune system. And the doctor was like, okay, I got it, immune system, Propolis. Because, you know, that's just easy. It's easy to remember, easy to think about, the whole bit. But I want to talk to you guys because a couple of cool things. Right now, Vimergy has a sale, which is a big deal. That's a big deal. So that alone is incredible. So check it out, Vimergy.com. V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, ERGY.com. So that's one thing automatically I want you to know about. So they have a sale, and that is awesome. Okay, it's the first thing right there. So let's talk about a couple of different things before we go into Propolis, right? The 4 things that I love about the Vimergy company. The 4 incredible things. And you guys probably remember them, maybe. Label requirements allow a company to have a certain percentage of ingredients they don't have to disclose on the bottle. Okay, so that's what it's like out there. So label requirements allow companies to have hidden ingredients in their supplements that they don't have to disclose if it's under a certain percentage. Vimergy says, no, we aren't going to do that. So that means, like, for instance, their Propolis, it's not going to have that hidden, undisclosed percentage of ingredients inside of it. It's not going to exist. And I can't find a company that will stand by that. So that's one, like, drop the mic, one incredible, like, thing all on its own. So that's one point. Another incredible point, right? No alcohol, no caffeine, no vinegar. These things are in supplements out there. No maltodextrin, no natural flavors. That's a big one all on its own. And if you guys ever heard the Medical Bean podcast, right? I have like a podcast episode talking about natural flavors and how bad it is. So they have no natural flavors, which is incredible. No soy, no gluten, right? None of that. I mean, we're talking clean, because there's a lot of supplement companies out there, and I see it all the time, where people will ask me and they'll be like, what about this one? What about that one? I go, did you read the back of it? Did you read the back of the label? And that's not even the hidden stuff. And you read the back of the label and you see it. You see natural flavors, this flavor, that flavor, flavoring. You see all of it there, vanilla flavoring, whatever it is. You just see all the different flavors in there. And those flavors are bad news. And I talk about that all the time. So it's the other like point that's incredible about the Vimergy company. The other one is a third party independently tested. So Vimergy does third party independently tested. So the reason why I'm going into this to begin with, you guys just got on here, like, why is he talking about this? I'll tell you, because we're talking about propolis. And it's important to know what you're dealing with when you're looking at something pure, when you're looking at purity, right? And that's important, especially when it comes down to immune system and everything about the immune system. So, and then there's the fourth thing that I love, is they choose the highest quality. Now, there's a game out there, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? You can call a less quality ingredient quality. So supplement companies can be like, yeah, quality tested, quality. That's what they can say and all that. But it doesn't mean they picked the highest level there was. It doesn't mean they went for the highest level available, because price point, it doesn't work out for all the companies. Vimergy doesn't care. They go to the highest quality level, the highest tier. And that's where they head. So when I look at the four different things, it blows my mind right there. That automatically, I can't find that anywhere. If there's a company out there, I'd love to talk to them, because I guarantee you they won't have those four things, because I've done that. I've talked to companies, I've talked to people out there, and they won't go near that. So what Vimergy holds and what they harbor and what they do, no one else will go near or touch. And that's what I call unbelievable. So we're talking about propolis. So when it comes down to propolis, quality matters for sure, because of things like alcohol that's in propolis and hidden ingredients and all of that. And so that's a big thing all on its own. By the way, if you guys just got on here, Vimergy's having a sale. So I'm just letting you know, check it out when you get a chance. And you guys know I work with Vimergy because of those 4 points I talked about. I endorse them 100%, just endorse them across the top there. So you guys, incredible. I'm just waiting for some of you guys getting on here. We're talking about propolis. So when it comes down to propolis, it's about immune system. Always keep that in mind. That's what I love about it. And then antioxidants and the polyphenols. That's another one too. So we're going to go into that a little bit. All right, so let's hit it. So people are just like, quercetin, quercetin, quercetin. Like, quercetin's good. That's what you'll hear out there. Like, you know, I even today, I'll hear like doctors will just call me up. They'll be like, hey, I want to ask you about quercetin. And so a lot of people are into that. But then there's bioactive living forms of it. And that's propolis. And that's what's incredible. And the Vimergy one. So the Vimergy one has the bioactive forms of polyphenols in here. Over 50% are in the propolis, and that's what's incredible all in its own. So a lot of people will just talk about things like quercetin, but yeah, there's dead quercetin, and it's not bioactive, and it's dead. And then there's the ones that aren't, and that's the whole point about propolis. It harbors these incredible polyphenols. So I wanted to talk about that for a little bit too. So look, you guys, this is I'll show you how this even looks and how incredible it is too. You'll see how golden it is and clean. And that's what I love about it right there. I'm going to put a little bit in this shot glass right here. It's just dropping in there. It's just, the color is just extraordinary, really. Maria says, if you sign up for their email list, they will send you notifications when they have sales. Incredible. Amazing. Definitely. So if you look at the color of it too, all on its own, it's different than anything I've seen out there. So all the years of the propolis that I've used, I've tried, I've seen, this is an entirely different form, in my opinion, from anything I've ever seen. So you can see the color of it, the golden color, right? So what the bee does, the bee picks up the resin from tree buds. So that's how it starts off. And then the bee uses that resin from the tree buds and produces propolis, which is like a lacquer. It's basically a bond. And so then the bee takes it into the nest. I got my little bees right here that are swinging around. The bees take it into the nest and use it to put the nest together. And so, but there's different qualities of propolis out there. And so what I love about the Vimergy one is the quality, and that's what's incredible about it. So I got it right here. And so what I usually do is I'll do it this way, right in the shot glass, but I just wanted to show you. I also put it directly in my mouth as well. So what I always recommend, like doctors, would be like, well, what's the best way to take propolis? I'll say, well, look, you're the doctor. You can tell your patient what to do, but you can put it right in your mouth, and that's fine too. So that's another way to take it. But I have it in a little bit of water right here in the shot glass. I put a little there, just like this. And the thing is that if you see other propolis out there, you'll see it's like brown, real dark brown, yucky, sometimes a black color too. It won't be this gold. And you'll see the difference. And that's impurities, is what you're looking at when you see the different colors. Like you're looking at alcohol reacting too, as well, to propolis. So when you see other companies and other brands out there, and I've seen this for years, the alcohol can turn it a color. And so they're really dark brown. It could be black. It could be an entirely different color. And that's something you won't see here. You see the purity difference, which is incredible all on its own. So I'm going to actually have one right now. And what happens is that I do the continuity test that I talked about with you guys at one point. And I want to talk more about that another time too, of like what that is and how it works. So what I do is I'll hold this in my hand. Now this isn't kinesiology. This is using your own free will and no one else's free will. So nobody else's energy is intercepting. And so the other thing is you're creating continuity to your brain, which is your central nervous system, to the product. And that's how it works. Like it's brain to product. And then the intention, right? So the intention of your brain knowing that you're going to be sending energy down to what's in your hand, and what's in your hand, you're going to send energy back up the nervous system straight to the brain. So it's the knowing, it's the free will you're using to create that continuity test. So it's both the free will and using your brain as the channel to send it down, the signal to go back and forth. So what I do with supplements, and I've held so many different propolis and I've held them and done the continuity test, right? And you feel like there's a block. You feel blocked. And I've had that so many times, especially if there's alcohol in there, especially if it's a poor quality form, then you feel that like blockage when you hold it. And over the years, I've had so many propolises to do that test with. And I remember when Vimergy put theirs out and I grabbed it and I said, well, see, you know, everything is above board. Everything's great. Let's see what it feels like. And it's an entirely different sensation. And you could do that. You can go like, you could be in a quiet space. You can do that in a quiet space. Relax. You can sit down. You don't have to stand up. And you take it and you hold it in the hand, and then you make that connection. Do that like affirmation. You say, I'm holding the propolis in my hand. And then you take your hand, your other hand, and you put it right on top of your head. Lily Collins says, is continuity test like muscle testing? No, because it's not muscle testing. You're actually not muscle testing. That's not what you're doing. You're making a continuity frequency between your brain and your hand. So it's not muscle testing. Muscle testing is somebody else's free will actually being thrown upon you. I'm not saying it's good, bad, it's whatever anybody wants to do out there. It's fine, whatever they like. But that's different. So kinesiology and muscle testing, which is the same thing, is entirely different than this. So this is continuity test. And there's a big difference. So with this test, okay, and when you do it with the Propolis, it's on another level, which is incredible. Like when you do it with products that are amazing, it's an entirely different level. When you do it with like garbage products or products that have all kinds of bad things in it and all that, like the bad Propolis is out there, and you do the continuity test and you can feel the block. It's crazy how you can feel the block. It's just actually amazing. So how to do a good continuity test, and we're going to talk more about this and go through, because there's so many details about how it's done. But holding it, knowing you're holding it, first and foremost, right? So it's not like a trick with muscle testing where and I'm not saying this is a trick or anything, like the muscle testing is a trick, but it's like if your practitioner's doing muscle testing with you and they put a vial in your hand, but you don't even know what it is, right? That consciousness is not your subconsciousness, consciousness, your soul, and the brain itself, the physical brain is not connected to really the vial, because there isn't even a knowing. So when you make that subconscious, conscious, soul, and physical brain connection, that you know what's in your hand. That's the first and foremost. You know what's in there. That's got to be key all on its own. So you're holding on to that, and you know what's in there, okay? And then the second thing you have to do is you're actually creating a connection to the central nervous system. So it's not muscle testing. It's the central nervous system. It's your main group of neurons and nerves. And you're making that connection to what's in your hand. But to make that connection, you're actually sending a frequency, right, from your brain through your arm down to the other arm to what's in your hand, and at the same time sending it back. And so what happens is that if it's not pure or not pure enough or not strong enough, or it has hidden ingredients in it, or it has undisclosed stuff in it, or it's weak, or it's a real low quality, or it's got something like alcohol, a just cheap, junky alcohol in it, whatever it is, you won't feel that sensation. You won't feel it at all. It'll just get blocked, and you're just like, what is this? And sometimes you'll get even a short circuit. So what's incredible about this is when I was like, okay, well, I can't wait to feel this one. And what you do is you sit down somewhere in a quiet room, you just relax, and then you give it a few seconds, and you know what the intentions are, you know what your free will is going to be involved with doing. You're not using somebody else's free will. Somebody else's soul isn't getting in your way. Somebody else's intentions or free will is not getting in your way. So it's not going to get in your way of, it's not going to get in the way of your subconscious and consciousness. So you're actually, it's only you and you alone, your intentions, your free will, your subconsciousness, your consciousness, your physical brain, your soul, and what you are holding. And that completely is different than any muscle testing, any kinesiology, any kind of testing on that level. Completely opposite. It's far from it, because that is somebody else's free will being used. And I'm not saying anything good or bad about that. I'm just saying it's somebody else's free will. And a lot of people do it differently. Rise with Meltem says, I did the continuity test last time you talked about it with the Vimergy products, and it felt like a flow of energy that opened up in my head. So I guess it worked. That's what it feels like. It feels like a flow of energy that's opened up. Claire Dunn says, love you, Anthony. I'm healing every day in every way. Incredible. So it's a feeling of having an open channel. And it could even be it's just like a crazy feeling with that. Like it's incredible. And I want to talk more about it too when I get the chance, like go into details on how to do it. So when I do the continuity test with like the Propolis, I also like it. What it does is it connects me to where it came from. It connects me to the bees. It connects me to all of it. And that's the other incredible part right there. So then you get all of that energy going through and you feel it. It's really powerful. Like I feel it now just by holding this now and doing this. And that's not me sitting in a quiet room. I'm sitting here just trying to like talk about all this. Nicholas says, try the continuity testing on Vimergy and I felt a clean, uplifting vibe. That's the feeling. I tried it on a different brand and was feeling nothing good. That's how it works. Like when I take a Propolis that's filled with the alcohol, because they all have alcohol in them, even the ones that say they don't or whatever, this, you know, there's still something in there that kind of nobody knows about, right? And the feeling is so much different. It's just it's unbelievable. Miranda says Propolis shock therapy helped me kick my fever with play. Incredible. You're over there on YouTube. Amazing. That's so wonderful. So you guys, so we're talking about if you just got on here, we're just chilling out. I got some lemon balm tea, but guess how I've been doing it? I've been doing my lemon balm tea like this. I've been doing my lemon balm tea like that. And I used to do it that way. So I ran out of tea bags because I also like the lemon balm tea bags, right? And stuff. But I ran out of them like a while ago. And then I'm remembering, well, this is how I also like to do it, which is incredible. So what I do is I take water, I put a little honey in there, and then I take, and that continuity test under lemon balm is actually insane too, actually, because lemon balm is like a calmative, right? Calms the nerves. And so when you hold lemon balm and you do the continuity test, and there it is right there. It's really incredible. If you guys are really intuitive, I know many of you are, and some of you guys are working on your intuitive abilities, right? If you're really intuitive, or if you're working on your psychic abilities, telepathic abilities, right? All of that, clairvoyant abilities, and then you actually focus on that. When you have a pure product like this, because the products out there, they're not pure like this. So, but when you have a pure product like this, and you do this, and use your psychic ability, use your intuitive skills, right? Intuitive ability. Use your clairvoyant ability. Everybody has it, whether it's developed or not. Telepathic ability, right? And then you try to visualize the incredible lemon balm that was used for this amazing resource. And you connect, and you also do the continuity test with it. It's actually a meditation. So, and you'll feel that. If you do the continuity test laying down, because that's what I'll do too, is I'll take the Propolis and I'll actually lay down. I'll relax. I'll hold it in my hand. I'll put my arms out like this. And I'll just totally chill out. I'll lay on the floor. And then I'll put my hand here. You feel it right when you put your hand here, though. All of a sudden, boom, you got the continuity going right through. But you do it as a meditation. And you can do it for like 30 seconds a minute. Take your hand off. And you're laying down. And then you do it again. You do it for another 30 seconds for a minute. It's an incredible meditation. I'm actually smiling because I could feel it. And it just reminds me of when I do it every other day. Because I do that a lot. And the feeling you get when you're not being blocked by contaminants and other things. And you're actually getting the continuity go through. Like right through. Rushing back and forth. So what happens is that it goes from the brain to the hand to the pure product, and from the hand to the brain, and then it goes back and forth. And it's that's vacillating back and forth. And that's how it really happens and the feeling you get. Cold White Spring, you're going to try it? Try it and do it as a meditation, which is incredible. And and I've had a lot of dead products in my hand that I've tried it with, and you feel the block. You even feel like, whoa, and you feel like you got to let go. You feel like you have to let go. A friend of mine brought some other company and said, well, what about this? Try this. Do the continuity test on this. I said, all right, well, let me lay down and I'll do it that way. And I purposely didn't look at what was in the ingredient list that my friend actually brought the supplement. It wasn't Vimergy, it was another company. And I purposely didn't look at what was in the ingredient list. I didn't want to be biased. I wanted to just be completely ignorant to what was in the list of the supplement brand. And I basically said, I'm going to go by your word, I said to my friend. My friend said, it's supposed to be the best quality and the best purity. I said, I'll go by your word. I grabbed it. I laid down. I did the continuity test. I felt it. He says, what's wrong with you? I said, what do you mean what's wrong with me? I feel that this is just totally blocked. And then I looked at it and it had all this garbage in it on top of it. People wouldn't think it's garbage, but it was garbage. Natasha says, we did all this for my eldest who just had the same eye infection, and the eye infection only lasted 3 days. I love as a mom, I don't need to worry about anything hidden in the Vimergy products. Natasha, that's the incredible thing. It's why I endorse them, because it's I don't want them to ever stop. See, I worry about that, right? Because it's like you worry about that. With them, I don't have to worry, but I also want them not to create it. They're creating it for people, but if people don't know how pure it is, I don't want it to disappear is what I'm trying to say. I don't want it to disappear. I want them to get the support they need, and that's what I want. It means so much. So, but that's what the whole point I'm trying to say is they don't have any of the undisclosed hidden ingredients. You could have a certain percent of undisclosed hidden ingredients, label requirements, let the companies do that where they have a certain amount, a percentage of ingredients that you will never know about ever. And then the quality tier they chose from is the lower quality, so it's price point. You guys know about that? If you guys know about business, right? A lot of you guys know about business, right? That the price point thing. So if you started a supplement company tomorrow and you went to go find resources and be like, okay, I'm going to source a good whatever, you're going to see where they give you they source out the cheapest of everything. And that's what you just automatically go to. You're like, okay, price point, you go with the cheapest, you go with the lowest quality, even if you're allowed to say it's quality. Vimergy doesn't do that. They don't care about the price point. They just say, you know what? It's about people. And it's about their bodies. And so they go for the highest. It's that they can find. And if there's a higher, they'll find it, and that's it. The highest, and that's what they go for. And that's the whole thing. You guys saw how I did the lemon balm, right? I love it that way. Seriously. So I've been doing this instead of the tea. So I'll do the Vimergy lemon balm. If you guys don't know the company, it's V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, ERGY.com. Go to Vimergy.com. They have a sale on too. I just thought I'd let you guys know about the sale as well. So now you can do another continuity test. Now the brain to hand one is a really, really powerful one. The other one is hand to hand. So you take a bottle of the same product, right? So I got 2 bottles of Propolis right here. So you take a bottle of the same product and you hold them in both hands and you get continuity from one hand to the other hand, right? That's another one you can do too. But the only difference with that one, okay? The only difference with that one is you want to start out by having both hands on top of the place where your subconscious, your consciousness, your physical brain, and your soul is. So you want to have both hands on top. And you can relax, you can lay down, and then after you have it on top for a little while, and I'll go into details more on this in the future, but then you grab onto the products and you do a continuity test between both. And that's another one you can do. And that one might be more, you might like that one better. My favorite that Spirit of Compassion taught me, and I didn't get these from anywhere. It's not like anybody ever, doing the continuity test and how it works and how everything. That's actually Spirit of Compassion's for years and years that I've used. But my favorite is, and if you're whatever hand you want to do, and it'll bring a smile to your face too because you feel it. It's a sensation, and it's like a relaxing sensation, but yet it's charged at the same time because you feel like it's like you're floating. It's like a floaty feeling too. It's just incredible. So that's a continuity test, and that's something that I've lived by for most of my life and that I love. And there's so many tools that I've gotten from Spirit of Compassion that there's only so many. I mean, I try to give you guys so many tools, all I can, and as much as I can. You guys know I do that. So this is one of the tools that I love. So anyway, when it comes down to propolis, like I always teach people that ask me and stuff, it's like immune system. It's one of the things I love. Antioxidants is another one. Now, antioxidants are different in different things. So it's not like one antioxidant from something. Like if someone says, well, coffee has an antioxidant, right? Well, the bad outweighs the good in that situation, right? All the caffeine stresses out the adrenals. Adrenaline is like gasoline, corrosive. So whatever little antioxidant that they discover in a coffee bean really can't compete with how much is going wrong when you're on a lot of caffeine. So that's something to know. And so, when it comes down to it, there are antioxidants that are in propolis are different, which is a whole nother thing that I was talking about before. You guys, I just wanted to give you a rundown on what's happening with the propolis, and Vimergy is on sale right now. I'm just reading your comments too. I'm going to have some more lemon balm tea without the tea bag, which is incredible all on its own. So try the continuity test when you actually get a chance and see how it feels. It's really a powerful way to connect. And if you're somebody that's like using your intuition, you're building up all your different internal skills that you have. It's a whole nother thing too on its own. Anyway, you guys, I will see you again